Shalom, my friends, from here in Jerusalem with this month's Ask Yael. I want to answer a question from Aimee who wants to know, is living in Israel scary? Are we surrounded by terror all the time and bombs and rockets? What's living in Israel really like? And I chose this question because I think it might even be deeper than you realize it is. I think about the Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies. Now what was going on then? The Israelites just got out of Egypt. They were traveling in the desert, making their way to Israel. And Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu, he sends the head of each tribe, the holiest people of the generation, to go and look at Israel, to scout it out, and to come back and tell the Jews that were just brought out of Egypt, what's this holy land like? What's the God-given land that they are making their way to? What's it like? And as we all know, the Meraglim, the spies, came back and they said, oh, it's not so good. They gave very bad, scary reports. And because of that sin, they had to wander in the desert for 40 years. We learned that if they would have come back and just said, it's beautiful, it's great, and they would have looked at the land of Israel with an ayin tov, with a good eye, the Jewish people would have just gone in. But because they came back and said bad things about the land, the whole generation was punished. And so I look at this story and I think that it's still very much happening today. The stories of the Bible are forever. And so what we learn is that there's something about this land that you have to have holy eyes in order to see the good. And for some reason, even the spies, the holiest people of that generation, came back and they didn't look at the good. They looked at the bad and they gave over the bad. And so what I want to tell you is that these days, when I see the whole world only talking bad about Israel, it reminds me of the sin of the spies. It reminds me of what that story is coming to tell us. That it's very possible to look at Israel with bad eyes. It's very possible to think of Israel and see terror and war and rockets. But us, the people of faith, have to rise above that. That's what the story of the spies in the Bible is teaching us. People of faith have to rise above that, to realize that the land of Israel is the most beautiful land in the world. And we have to put on those eyes to see it. And I could tell you that living here in Israel, when you're here on the ground, it's easy to see with those beautiful eyes. You see prophecy coming to life. The desert is in bloom everywhere you go. We know that Israel used to be a desert, but now everywhere there's fruit trees growing and there's vegetables growing and there's grass and everything is green and in bloom. It's beautiful. When you go on the bus, you see people sitting and reading Psalms all day. Children in public school are learning the stories of our forefathers, the stories of this land. Every day there's another flight of new immigrants from around the world, all four corners of the earth, coming home. And on top of that, it's very easy to see through beautiful eyes that the medical technology that are coming out of Israel are life-saving for all of us in the entire world. There are more patents from Israel than the entire Arab world combined. The technology, the medical technology, the high-tech startups, and the desert in bloom, the prophecy coming to fruition, is what makes life in Israel so beautiful. And so when you're far from Israel and you read the news on Israel, you have to look at it through holy eyes, through godly eyes, not through the eyes of the spies, but go beyond that. Use that lesson in the Bible to rise beyond it and look at Israel for the beautiful, holy, blessed land that she is. So from here in Israel, this is this month's Ask Yael.